Hi guys, Mysterious Cat Island here, and we're gonna play one of my favorite games of all time today. Um, the opening here always terrified me as a kid. I don't know why. It's just really spooky when you're 8 years old and you plug this thing into the Super Nintendo and it starts this. I don't get it. But we're gonna play Final Fantasy VI Advance for the Game Boy Advance, obviously. We're playing this version of the game because it does have some extras that were added in later when the game was re-released, including a few new summons and things we'll go into later. Right now, we're just going to go ahead and get started. As you can see, we have an extras option here. Right now, all that's here is the bestiary. If you're starting a brand new game, you won't have a bestiary. But since I did a little test game, we do have a couple of items in the bestiary. I do believe there are other options added to the extras later. Right now, that's all we have, though. So we're going to go ahead and start a new game. So as you can see, this game was originally brought out in 1994. I believe it was April 2nd, 1994. That dates me a little bit. I remember being 8 years old, and my parents had to rent a Super Nintendo, because we didn't own one, from the Blockbuster, dating myself again, in order to play the game at all. We had to rent the game, too, but it was my favorite. Because at the time, the Super Nintendo, I don't remember what the Super Nintendo retailed for, but I'm pretty sure the cartridge itself retailed for about $75. So people who complain about a $60 game, chill your bones. The ancient war of the Magi. When its flames had last receded, only the charred husk of a world remained. Even the power of magic was lost. In the thousands of years that followed, iron, gunpowder, and steam engines took the place of magic, and life slowly returned to the barren land. Yet there now stands one who would reawaken the magic of ages past, and use its dreaded power as a means by which to conquer all the world. Could anyone truly be foolish enough to repeat that mistake? Yes. The answer is yes. I'm not going to be reading all the dialogue. I just wanted to read the opening. I'll probably read a couple other passages later. I'm mostly just going to talk over the game. Here we go. When this game came out, this is like the epitome of graphics. It's an incredible step up from Final Fantasy IV, although there were 2 games between. Or there was 4 and then one other game before this one came out, so they had some time to improve. So you can probably tell who our character is, but right now that's not all that important. Here we have Biggs and Wedge. When they were originally brought out over here on the original Final Fantasy III cartridge, it was Vix and Wedge, but they probably changed it to Biggs in the retranslation because of some translation error. There were a lot of very strange translations in this game and in subsequent Final Fantasies. I'm not clicking through this. It rolls on automatically, so hopefully you guys are going to have time to read this. So we're apparently some strange girl? I guess we'll figure it out soon. But right now we're on this weird little tundra area. And it's moving all on its own, so just a little cutscene. And now we've got our opening credits, which, like I said, for the time, the graphics here are amazing. Big machines hulking over a snowy tundra, and now we get our credits. So one of my favorite parts of this game is the soundtrack. The soundtrack has always been a really big, important thing for me. This game in general has been a big, important thing for me. I want to say it is a very important part of my development as a creative person. As you can see, Tetsuya Nomura got his, probably not his start with this game, but he was pretty young when this game came out, considering the age of some of the other people who worked on the game. He went on, obviously, to do the character designs for Final Fantasy VII, most notably 8, Kingdom Hearts, you know, zippers and belts everywhere. The original character designer for this game was Yoshitaka Amano, though. You'll really be able to tell in some of the menu pictures and some of the monster designs. Although his work doesn't translate super well to pixel because of the sketchy and block color nature of it. But his artwork is beautiful, so. He did do a lot of the original sketches for, like I said, the monsters. He did sketches for the places. And it's just all over. Beautiful, beautiful designs. And it's hard to tell where we're walking, but it looks like we're going towards some cliffs there in the back. I don't know why the game seems to be lagging a little bit. Don't hope it comes through on the capture okay. And oh, where are we now? Let me know if I click through anything too quickly. There's not a whole lot to explore here. You can't really go into the buildings. You're too big. You see the doors there, and they are not large enough to fit a Magitek armor. We are going to start off with a couple of battles, though. Now, we obviously have the advantage because we're in these big armor things. We only have a couple of abilities. Well, at least Biggs and Wedge do. They can do Fire Beam, Ice Beam, Thunder Beam, and Healing Force. We're pretty much going to stick to Fire Beam because it's pretty effective against human enemies, and most of the stuff we'll encounter here because it's sort of a snowy area. Things are used to the cold. Our main girl here, whose name is all question marks, though, has a couple of extra abilities, which I'll show you maybe in the next battle. She's probably the slowest character right now, though. Gains some experience points, a couple of levels. Unlike some of the other Final Fantasies, Biggs and Wedge are not really sympathetic characters in this game. I think 7 was the first game where they really started to become characters you cared about and then were immediately thrown away by the plot. So, oh, I guess we're in a town called Narshe, or Narshe. I'm not going to judge you either way you want to say it, I don't care. So, a lot of the monsters... Okay, here's our main girl. She's got magic, that's unusual. Her Magitek has a couple of extra abilities. We're going to go with Bioblast, because poison is also effective against most organic enemies, but not all. Bioblast is a good way to add status effects and can be very effective against certain bosses and things like that. Also, it's great when you can destroy 2 enemies in one hit. So, come here. Fighting a couple of guards. Let's take a look at Thunder Beam. Probably not going to use Ice Beam too much, because it's not really all that effective in this area. Thunder Beam and Fire Beam are your best bets. You do also have a Healing Force, which will allow you to heal your armor, or heal yourself in your armor, so you don't have to use potions and things like that. Now that we've decimated that, moving right along. It's like I said, it's a pretty linear path. Just keep going north. You'll get into a couple of fights. This game introduced the pincer battles. I don't remember if they were in earlier Final Fantasies, but this game definitely has them. They're annoying. We're actually going to use Healing Force because some of the HP is getting a little low here. Whoops, didn't want to use that on Biggs, but whatever. You could use it. Pincer Battle can make it a little hard to select which character you're using. But these guys with the armor on are real easy enemies. They're not going to give you any sort of challenge. Basically, we're really OP right now. Which, you know, that's sort of nice, don't get me wrong. Question marks gained a level? I go under the bridge, it's straight up. We can somehow make it up this ladder, or these stairs, go figure. Uh-oh, what are these? Oh, we got some mammoths now, great. Like I said, fire beam. Nothing, not a big deal here. Easy peasy with our Magitech armors. Gives you an interesting sense of how the world is working, actually, because the town we're in is very industrialized. I'm thinking mid-18th century, well, not 18th century, mid-1800s, early 1900s sort of development. And you'll just go into this big cave area. The mine shaft, okay. This always looks like a face to me. The little lanterns as eyes, and the little opening at the bottom as a mouth, and the little start of the railway as a nose. Don't know why. We're gonna go ahead and save the game. Yes. Shit, I didn't want to actually learn about the save points. Save points are pretty basic. They're these pretty glittery blue lights. If you've played any Final Fantasy, you know about save points. Oh, looks like we got a random battle. That's okay though. Because leveling up is good. And why not use all this power while we've got it? Got a little fanfare going. Okay, you see there's a tunnel over here? You can't fit through it, you're too big. So, keep with your northward path until you get to this gate. Whoops, sorry, didn't mean to click through that so fast. I know all the dialogue in this game. Much better than I probably should. And you'll keep going through the cave here. Wait, what's going on? Esper? What's that? Ymir? Okay guys, this is our first boss battle. I believe in the original Final Fantasy III version, this was just called the Well, and not Ymir. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure I have the original game guide around here somewhere. They're apparently trying to guard the mines, and it's this ugly snail thing. There is a bit of a trick to this battle. This is one of the first bosses. This is the first boss, obviously, but with a trick to fight him. A lightning well. They just called him Welk in the original American version. So he absorbs lightning, so we might want to avoid using that Thunder Beam attack. And stores the energy in its shell. Don't attack the shell. That'll tell you straight up, don't attack the shell. Don't use any magic on it, nothing. It's a two-part monster. It's divided into head and shell. The shell has 50,000 HP. The head only has about 1,600 HP. So obviously we want to go for the head, because that's going to be a much easier target. We're going to designate one of you guys. Well, you don't even worry about healing right now, not until you get really, really low. It doesn't do much in the way of attacks. Until you... it will do slime, which will slow your characters. Which sucks. Okay, when it does that, It retreats into its shell. When it retreats into its shell, do not attack the shell. Just spend the round healing or defending. I'm gonna spend it healing. I'm not down by that much HP. I don't want to mess with it though. He will eventually come out of his shell. And that's usually the trigger to let you know he is. So, just keep it up with the fire beam. You'll chip him down in time. It doesn't take too long. I think last game, or my test game, I defeated him in 5 rounds. Something like that. He's not hard. He will start to increase the frequency at which he goes into a shell. Here you go again. So, we don't really need to heal. Everybody's healed up, so we're just gonna defend for right now. Not much else you can do. The other items in Question Mark Girl's Magitech list, I don't really use them so much. It's just the main 4 plus Bioblast are really your best options here. Okay, so he's back out. Gonna fire beam him a couple more times. I haven't really been keeping track of his HP, but you'll know when he's gone. There's no secret. Okay, so we're gonna, again, spend the round healing. I'm not very low on HP. What I will do is I am going to attack the Shelly to show you what happens if you do. If you attack it accidentally, it's not the end of the world. Just be careful. You don't want to attack it too much. He's going to immediately cast Mega Volt, which does quite a bit of damage at this point in the game for you. Just keep on that fire beam, and don't attack the shell. It's not worth it. The shell has too much HP for you to bother with it. And there you go. That was what, 5 rounds maybe? He's not a hard boss if you know what you're doing. As long as you don't attack the shell, you'll be fine. He'll cast slow on you. Not the biggest deal in the world. And we got a high potion for that battle. And we can just keep going up, because there's nothing else to stop us. Up some more little stairs, and what is this? Frozen Esper, what are these guys talking about? Wong. Wong. Sorry, lightsaber sounds. What is this thing? It's actually really pretty. Don't quote me on this also, but I believe this, we'll call it a monster or Esper for now, was designed after Quetzalcoatl, although there is, I believe, a Quetzalcoatl later on. Quetzalcoatl being a feathered serpent from Aztec mythology. Ooh, it's shiny. I love a lot of the designs of the monsters in this game. You do have your normal palette swaps, but I feel like some of the boss monsters are designed so super well. And that even the pixel art on them is so just amazing. It's emitting some sort of weird light. What's going on here? Uh-oh, they're freaking out. They can't figure it out. Whoops. There was Wedge. And they are gone forever. Spoiler alert. Aren't you glad they didn't let you get sympathetic with them like they did in Final Fantasy VII? And we're just stuck here staring at it. Are we gonna disappear too? What is that? Holy shit. It made us explode. We're gonna stop there right now, guys. Thanks for watching. Oh, what's this?